Did you play hockey today, boy?
I did so.
Did you?
Man, I'm mighty sore right now.
I believe it.
I'm sore in places that you don't even have places stated.
Well, yeah, I understand that. I played hockey myself, so.
Well, I played hard today. And I ran out of gas about 3/4 of the way through. The last 10, 15 minutes, they were just firing pucks at me, and I was not even
Yeah. Just a bit.
Stand by, guys. Stand by.
Yep.
Stand by. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you might be around this globe of ours. Welcome to Emergency Management Associates. We're coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. We want to welcome everybody who's on our air with us tonight. We appreciate each and every one of you being here. God bless you for being here. We've got some audio problems I'm going to try to take care of right away here, so just stand by here with me. This should do it here, I hope, with any luck. Just a second here. I think we're overmodulated again. Hold on a second. Testing 1, 2, 3. I think that might be a little bit better. I hope that's a little bit better. Anyway, I want to welcome everybody to Emergency Management Associates tonight. We're coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. We have a lot of things to talk about, and in a few minutes we're going to bring you a guest, or a couple guests here that should not be any strangers to this program, because we've had them on the air here with us before. But in just a few minutes we're going to be doing that. Just to give you an idea of where we're going to go tonight, I'm going to talk about earthquakes right off the bat. Then we're going to talk about a few other things, and I'm going to bring our guests in here as well. So please bear here with me for just a minute. I've got a couple things I'm doing here at the same time. Unfortunately, I've been ready for this most of the afternoon, then we've had some technical difficulties here. Just a second here.
I can hear him.
Okay.
Right there.
I hope you guys can hear me. My guest here, one of my guests is having a hard time hearing us tonight. I'm hoping that clears up. How is my volume with everybody here on the program tonight? Can you guys give me 5x5 or let me know how the volume is here? Testing 1, 2, 3 with Emergency Management Associates. Testing 1, 2, 3. Can you guys give me 5x5 here tonight? I hope we're hearing.
I'm hearing you fine.
Okay. I'm getting 5x5 here. That's a good thing here. Okay, let me tell you what we're going to do tonight. As I said, I want to talk about some earthquakes that have been happening first. Okay? I want to go over to the USGS map for just a few minutes here. If you guys will just bear with me here. As we're looking at the USGS map, we're seeing the United States of America. But we're not going to stay here. Okay? Over here in Russia. Okay? Way over here in Russia. This was a 5.6 earthquake earlier this morning. Okay? This hit at about 8:30 this morning Eastern Time. The USGS has downgraded it to a 5.1 earthquake. Go figure. 5.1 earthquake. Then I drop down here to Honshu, Japan. Honshu, Japan. This is just off the coast of Honshu. USBS has this as a 5.9 earthquake, or 4.9, I'm sorry. USBS has this as a 4.9 moderate earthquake. This is not a 4.9 either. This was a 5.1 earthquake. USGS has no business downgrading these earthquakes at all. I'm going to chastise them right now. This earthquake over in the Northern Mariana Islands area, USBS downgraded this to a 4.9 as well. This was a 5.1 earthquake earlier today.
You can hear him with the headphones on? You can hear him talking? Okay, cool. I gotta mute my microphone.
Over here in the Solomon Islands, USGS had this as a this came out as a 5.6 earthquake. Came out as a very large 5.6 earthquake. USBS now is downgraded to a 5.3 earthquake. Go figure. Over here, Hihiu Tonga, USBS has this as a 5.1 earthquake as well. Guess what? This was also a 5.6 earthquake. Okay? They've been downgrading earthquakes all day long. This earthquake here near Houma, Tonga, Houma, Tonga, USBS has downgraded this to a 5.5. This was also a 5.6 earthquake. Go figure. Go figure. There are 7 earthquakes worldwide that are 5.0 and larger. USGS has downgraded every doggone one of them. They're 5.0 and larger. USGS has downgraded every doggone one of them. Incredible what they're doing here. Then I want to come down here to the Antarctic Ridge, the southern Antarctic Ridge in the Atlantic Ocean. I want you to see this. USGS downgraded this from 5.1 to 5.0. This is on the Antarctic Ridge down here, just west of the Mid-Atlantic Fault. Just west of the southern Mid-Atlantic Fault here. Folks, this earthquake is going to go up the Mid-Atlantic Fault sometime within the next 24 to 48 hours. We're going to see this earthquake in the southern Mid-Atlantic within the next 48 hours. Okay? I want to show you this because it's important to understand what they're doing here. They're not reporting earthquakes accurately, number one. And number two, we've always been saying what they're doing with the earthquakes, and they're not accurately reporting where they're at either. However, this is as accurate as we can get with these large earthquakes today. 7 5.0 and larger earthquakes that they've downgraded it. This is unheard of. This is completely unheard of. I can understand them downgrading 1 or 2 earthquakes, but 7 earthquakes downgraded today? That's insane. This is absolutely insane, guys. Insane. Now, why is that important to you? Well, guys, guess what? Guess what? What happens when they're starting to report earthquakes that aren't even there? Or there is a major earthquake and they're not showing it. What happens when there is a major earthquake and they're not showing it? Someone's going to get hurt. Someone is going to get killed because USGS is not doing their darn job. The preeminent seismic agency in the world. I'm talking about the United States government. The preeminent seismic agency in the world, the USGS, is not doing their darn job. There are over 1,000 earthquakes today worldwide, and all they are showing is 200. 200 earthquakes when there are over 1,000 earthquakes worldwide. That's insane. This is completely announced out and out insane. Our agencies lying through their teeth. Now, I want to go over and talk about what's going on in Ukraine. And then I'm going to introduce our guests here. They're just waiting in the wings to talk to us. Okay? What's going on in Ukraine? The United States State Department has learned of a possible attack upon the U.S. Embassy in Kiev, Ukraine. Embassy officials in Kiev have been ordered not to open the embassy today, and all employees are to shelter in place. Okay? The advisory, which urged citizens to shelter in place during air alerts, was followed by similar closures of the Spanish, the Italian, and the Greek embassies in Ukraine. The warning came one day after Ukraine, for the first time, attacked Russian territories with U.S.-made ATACMS missiles. Supersonic ATACMS missiles made by the United States. On Monday, Biden told Ukraine and gave President Zelensky permission to use these U.S.-made missiles, and as a result, Zelensky launched 6 U.S.-made missiles into Russia. At that point in time, Putin redefined the nuclear capability of the Russian area, the Russian country. Redefined their use of force, meaning they can attack with nuclear missiles at will. Russia can attack anyone around the world if they can identify that those countries in someplace else in the world attack Russia, including the United States. The problem with this is, let me explain. Biden has also given Ukraine and Canada permission to launch Canadian-made missiles into Russia. Biden has given Ukraine permission to use Canadian-made missiles against Russia. Biden is attempting to start World War III before President Trump gets into office. The United States and Canada closed their embassies in Kiev amid the threat of a Russian attack on Ukraine's capital. But the State Department announced that it would reopen the embassy on Thursday. The State Department said that it expects its embassy in Kiev to return to normal operations on Thursday. Spokesman Matthew Miller declined to say what kind of threat forced the embassy to shut down today as a safety precaution. Quote, "We take the safety and security of our personnel extremely seriously." The U.S. mission closed one day after Moscow threatened to respond to Ukraine's firing of long-range U.S.-supplied missiles at the Russian territory for the first time in the nearly 3-year war. Now, with that said, Russia said they intercepted all 6 missiles. Why then has Russia also said through the media that one of our missiles snuck through and hit its target with very little damage? And nobody killed. The U.S. Embassy in Kiev has received specific information of a potential significant air attack today. The embassy was closed today, and embassy employees were instructed to shelter in place one day after Ukraine used American missiles to hit a target inside Russia. Moscow has described this as an escalation in the war. Canada has also, like I said, temporarily closed its embassy in Kiev following the U.S. advisory. The State Department continues to advise U.S. citizens not to travel to frontline regions of Ukraine and areas along the Ukrainian border with Belarus due to the presence of Russian and Belarusian military and security forces on the Belarusian side of the border, and their proximity to active ground combat. Frequent shelling missile and drone attacks on populated areas and civilian infrastructure, and limitations on the MSC's ability to provide assistance to U.S. citizens in those areas. Ukraine on Tuesday used the ATACMS missiles, the ATACMS ATACMS missiles, to attack a supposed arms depot into Russia, making use of newly granted permission from outgoing administration of U.S. President Joe Biden on the 1,000th day of Russia's full-scale invasion on Ukraine. Russia has been signaling to the U.S. and its allies for weeks that if they give permission for Ukraine to strike deep into Russian territory with Western-supplied missiles, then Moscow will consider it a major escalation. Out of an abundance of caution, the embassy will be closed all day today, and embassy employees have been instructed, like I said, to shelter in place. That is according to the State Consular Affairs Department. Now, the U.S. Embassy recommends U.S. citizens be prepared to immediately shelter in the event of an air alert announced. The Kremlin said it had no comment on this. Russian Foreign Intelligence Chief Sergei Nachikin said in an interview published today that Moscow would retaliate against NATO countries that facilitate long-range Ukrainian missile strikes against Russian territory. Now, with that said, there's something else that you might be interested in right here. Russian troops, Russian servicemen captured an American tank, an M2 Bradley fighting vehicle, captured it in Ukraine, and Russian troops now have it. Tanks and armored transports previously used by the armed forces of Ukraine and its NATO allies have been captured during operations in Kharkiv and Sumy, Ukraine. Now, even with that said, there's something more I need to bring up with you, because it involves everybody. It involves everybody. Sweden and Finland have now gotten involved. Sweden and Finland have urged citizens to prepare for war. The once solidly neutral Nordic nations, neutral Nordic nations in Northern Europe are taking precautions to ready their citizens to be able to cope under warlike conditions as a security apparatus in the continent continues to deteriorate amid the war in Ukraine. Sweden on Monday issued pamphlets, like you see here, to millions of people around Sweden, giving directions what to do in the event of war breaking out in Sweden and Norway and Finland. Okay? They expect their nations to be attacked as well. Earlier this year, Sweden and Finland joined NATO. Norway had been joined NATO since 1949. Now all the Nordic nations are part of NATO. NATO is also controlling the armed forces in Ukraine. Interesting. Now the booklet that you see here being shown by the civil defense man, I believe his name is Dublin in Sweden. The booklet is dubbed In Case of Crisis or War. It's not only been updated from its previous version from 6 years ago due to the worsening security situation in Europe, but it was also expanded and is nearly twice the size. Sweden has followed this practice since World War II, when its first version, titled If War Comes, was reportedly distributed. Now, during World War II, the Germans marched on Sweden. The Swedes have been a very neutral nation. As a result of the Germans marching into Sweden, Sweden handed the Germans keys to the railroads. and the Germans took over Sweden. They raped and pillaged all the counties and cities around Sweden. I spoke to a woman that was there when I was there in 1976. This woman lived in northern Sweden in a town called Sundsvall. She's now passed away. I interviewed her. She was raped by German troops. She was raped by German troops that took over the railroads and took over the countryside in Sweden. This has happened. Swedes are very afraid of war. Now they join NATO, they have more protection than ever from any other country, including Russia, marching into Sweden. The guidance has been updated during the Cold War, but one directive apparently highlighted in the middle of the booklet has been pushed forward, noting if Sweden is attacked by another country, we will never give up. They've gone from being a neutral country to now saying they will never give up. All information to that effect of resistance or not being resistant is false. All the information about not being resistant is false. They will resist. Sweden, like Finland before it, joined NATO earlier this year, after first announcing its bid to do so in the aftermath of Russia's invasion of Ukraine in 2022. Booklets have been distributed to millions of households throughout the Nordic nations, including instructions on how to prepare for the effects of military conflicts, communications outages, and power cuts, as well as extreme weather events. From stockpiling bottled water and sanitary products to growing edible foodstuffs at home. Government authorities have offered tips on how residents could sustain themselves in the event of war. The brochures also include advice for parents and caregivers, instructing everyone to prepare diapers, medication, and baby food. The Swedish government is distributing a booklet called Om Krisen eller kriget kommer, meaning if war or strife comes. They've distributed this now to 5 million households over the last 2-week period. 2 million copies sent out, urging citizens to have canned foods, pasta, pet food, water, matches, candles, first aid kits, medicine, and iodine tablets. Because Russia has said that they are going to use nuclear weapons. Similarly, as I said about Norway, which was a NATO founding member in 1949, released a pamphlet urging Norwegians to prepare to cope for up to a week in the event of war. Isn't it interesting they said up to a week? Because war is going to last a lot longer if it hits the Nordic countries. Now, right before we bring on my guests here, I want to talk about something else here. A bomb cyclone has hit Vancouver Island and Washington and Oregon. A huge monster storm. Look at this, it looks like a hurricane. That's why they're calling it a bomb cyclone. The bomb cyclone has already left 2 people dead and more than 450,000 customers without power in Washington state. 2 people were killed near Seattle, and more than 500,000 homes and businesses have been left dark today in the wake of this back-to-back storms that have battered the Pacific coastline. The system described, quote, as a bomb cyclone. Now that bomb cyclone is indicative of a sharp, quick drop in air pressure. I have it on good authority from one of my meteorologist friends in Washington that the air pressure there dropped a full 1 millibar. That's huge.
It's huge.
That's huge. A full millibar, guys. It's brought high winds, rain and snow falling, trees down, power lines down throughout western Washington into this morning. Snow, freezing rain, and blizzard conditions have blanketed much of eastern Washington as residents there were warned to travel very carefully today. A woman in her 50s was killed when a tree fell on a homeless encampment in Linwood, Washington around 7 p.m. last night. Unreal. A tree fell, killing a woman in a homeless encampment. Another tree fell also onto a bus. Incredible. In Bellevue, Washington, authorities were called to report a tree that had crashed into a house, killing a man's wife. The caller was transported to safety until conditions near his home improved. We're thinking now of the family and the community which we know have been impacted by this woman's death. That's according to the fire department. NBC TV affiliate King TV of Seattle broadcast images of cars smashed by fallen trees. A public bus, like I said, was hit, but there were no passengers on board the bus. The driver escaped unhurt. In some other places, winds were strong enough to be classified as hurricane strength. There are so many trees and power lines down. We will be posting locations till the lights turn on. Stay home. Stay home and be safe, according to the Snohomish Regional Fire Rescue. Trees are coming down all over the city and falling on homes and businesses. If you can, go to the lowest floor and stay away from windows. Do not go outside unless you can avoid it. The National Weather Service today said it was damaged in high winds in Seattle. The National Weather Service today said it was damaged by high winds in Seattle. By noon today, 478,000 customers in Washington State remain without power. Now, I'm expecting a telephone call from the National Weather Service that will tell me what exactly is going on, and if they call, I'll put them on the air with you. A power electricity company called Seattle City Light reported 40,800 customers in the dark in its service area. Firefighters in Puget Sound, Washington, rescued 2 people who became trapped when a tree fell onto their trailer. One person was retrieved quickly. It took an hour to rescue the second person. Both people were taken to the local hospital for treatment. That's how bad this storm is. It's very bad. Now that I've told you that, we have our guests here. Okay? Yes, we can still talk about this storm as well. Guys, we have 2 guests here. First, our friend Barry Prince. And our friend Dave. You all know him as Canadian Patriot 1. Let me take my big mug down here. I should say I'll move me up here so you can see our friends here. Okay, in the middle there is Barry Prince. I've known Barry for several years now, and as you know, Dave I've known for at least forever. And then Dave introduced me to Barry. So there we are. So Dave and Barry, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Hi, fam.
Thanks, Herman.
Hey, we appreciate you guys being here.
Did you fall asleep, Barry?
No, I didn't fall asleep. I'm wide awake and ready to rant.
What do you think about Biden opening up the British and the U.S. military to attack by Russia?
Yeah.
I think Biden is doing everything he can to start a war. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure that if the United States gets involved in a war, they will postpone the inauguration of Donald J. Trump. Now, I'm not sure if that's true, but I believe that's a true statement. Is that a true statement, Ron?
I believe that. I've heard that too. I don't have any written confirmation of that, but I've heard that is true from so many different sources that I believe it is true.
Yeah.
And Biden's doing everything to stay in power. Biden is mentally inept.
He could declare a state of emergency.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to happen.
Which would delay, as far as I know, the inauguration of Donald J. Trump, and that's their whole end game right now. They're going to do everything they can in their little dirty bag of tricks to stop him from becoming inaugurated.
Yeah.
I agree.
Now, Putin came up. Yeah, Putin came up today and said he will not negotiate with the United States unless it is with Donald J. Trump.
I was watching the show.
That's a fair statement.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that Trump's been trying to communicate with both of them, saying, hey, listen, hold up on all this stuff, don't escalate. The problem is that Biden is hell-bent on escalating to do everything they possibly can to keep Trump out of office.
Yeah.
Biden is trying to start a third world war, man.
Yeah.
And it's scary. They start launching notes around. And boy, oh boy, we are in for a very bad day, because there's no such thing as a limited nuclear exchange.
No.
It's all out war if they start throwing the bombs around. They're going to throw them around until there's nothing left. And that'll be the end of civilization. That'll be the end of life on the earth. We can all kiss our butts goodbye.
Pretty much.
I don't believe that it's Biden that's making the calls. It's the deep state,
Yes.
or Obama.
The deep state.
Obama.
Biden hasn't got the brains to put together a sentence. He can't rationalize anything in his brain. He's just doing exactly what he's being dictated to do. Every morning he gets his briefs, and they tell him what he's going to do for the day, and that's what he does.
Yeah.
Period.
Did you see him walk off into the rainforest?
Well, I didn't see that. I didn't see that.
He did.
It's almost sick
Yeah.
because they had video, the media had video of Biden walking onto a beach, and he could hardly walk. He could hardly walk in the sand. Unreal.
Well, I know. He's a decrepit old man, and he's just barely hanging on till the inauguration. He should never have been the president
No.
to begin with.
But he's committed.
He's got the brains God gave a chicken.
Yeah. Biden is committed, Britain and the United States. Because Biden gave Ukraine permission to use British-made missiles. Unreal.
Yep. And French.
Yeah. What gives Biden
And they were,
Biden
and
power
they're
to do
sending
that?
them. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. I can't believe it.
We're,
How does it?
we're very close to nuclear war right now.
Yeah, we are.
The world doesn't understand the ramifications of nuclear war. I don't think a lot of people understand what a nuclear war would be like.
No.
But I got a pretty good idea of what it's going to be like. And boy, oh boy, if we ever go there, it's going to be a real bad day for the human race. Go ahead, guys.
Yeah.
It's true.
Well, one thing's for sure, they're going to take care of half the population of the world in the first crack.
How is all this going to affect you guys in Canada? All you guys, wonderful people in Canada.
It doesn't matter. Ron, if they start launching nukes around, I read 3 different reports on the effects of nuclear bombs going off on the planet's surface. And one report said that at 27, one said 18, and the other one was around 19 or 20. I think it said 20. Nuclear bombs go off at the same time. We will put so much crap into the atmosphere that we will create a nuclear winter that will last 2 to 3 years of nuclear winter. That's no sunlight penetrating the atmosphere. No plants would grow. All life would stop growing. All plant life, all animals would die within 3-4 months. Everything's dead. That means we're dead. Unless you're ready to go underground and you've got 2 or 3 or 4 years supply of food, you got a filtration system, you're set up to survive underground, you might survive, but the rest of us, we can kiss our butts goodbye.
Yeah.
But the irony, the ironic of the whole situation is that these elites that are going to go underground when they start launching these nukes around figure they're going to be coming out in 2 to 5 years. Well, I got a news flash for them. They're going to be underground for the rest of their life and the generations after them and the generations after them before the earth will be able to be habitable again.
Yeah.
So we're playing with something that is a species-ending event, guys.
Yeah, I think so too.
And we made them. And we made them. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are people in Canada looking at this now? What do people think?
Honestly, the people that I know that I'm talking to are saying, hey, you know what? There's nothing we can do. We have an idiot in Ottawa who, he doesn't care. He's got a bunker somewhere, and it's loaded up with stuff. He doesn't care what happens. The rest of the Canadians, well, we got so many issues to worry about that it's realistically no more important than anything else. It's going to happen at some point.
Yeah.
We're toast unless we can get this guy out and put our country on the right track. But so far, he doesn't even make the decisions on things.
No.
The deep state does.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Trudeau is the least of our worries right now. I think our biggest concerns are what's going on in Ukraine, what's going on with Russia, what the odds of a nuclear war actually are. Right now, the doomsday clock is at the 11th hour, the 11th minute, the 11th. It's like right there, and I'm terrified to have nuclear war. Holy smokes! That's going to be an event that will change our lives forever.
Yeah,
and none of us are going to live through it.
I agree.
You see, the problem is that Putin's telling his people that they'll be okay. Everybody else is going to be cooked. But when you look at the reality of the thing, we're all toast.
Yeah. It's not just going to be Russia attacking the U.S. or Russia attacking Britain or Scandinavia or anywhere else. Russia attacks the United States, and the United States is also going to launch missiles to Russia. Russia will be toast as well. Everybody's going to be under sanctions because the radiation isn't just going to be in the United States or Russia. The radiation's going to spread worldwide.
We got this thing called the jet stream.
Yep.
And it's going to be carried around the planet. So you know where it's going to be safe. The little radiation that we're exposed to, oh man. I think I'd rather have the bomb drop right on my head and I just see a flash of light and I'm gone, because the suffering that I believe that the human race is going to go through if we were to experience a full-blown nuclear exchange between two superpowers where they'd launch 30 or 40 or 50 or 60 or 70 missiles at each other. Yeah. What's going to be left for us? What kind of life would we have? I mean, nuclear poisoning, that is, radiation poisoning is a terrible, terrible way to die.
Yeah.
I looked at videos of the people that suffered in Hiroshima and Nagasaki and the effects of the nuclear waste or the nuclear radiation on these people. We're looking at an event of much bigger magnitude. Boy, I'll tell you, I'd rather have the bomb explode right over my head.
Yeah, me
and
too.
Get me out of here, because I don't want to be suffering for 3 to 4 months before I die.
Yeah.
It's already escalated, because 2 of the communication cables have been taken out, and they believe it was the Chinese that took them out. Because China's already said that if it happens, them, the North Koreans, the Iranians, and the Russians are all going to come against us. And it's coming. It's escalating.
It is. It's been escalating for quite some time. I didn't realize it was China that took out those communications cables. I was told
That's what they figured.
I was told that 2 communications cables in the Baltic Sea that would be able to communicate with Europe and Scandinavia had been cut. That's what the Swedish authorities said. But I didn't realize. Go ahead.
I was watching a thing today that they were saying that they figured it was the Chinese ship that did it.
Jeez.
Dragging its anchor or whatever it is they do. But it wouldn't surprise me because China's already said, we cross the line, we're going to jump in with Russia.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what they've done. That's exactly what they've done. And yes, Ben Hutchins is in the chat saying, it's not going to happen, read your Bibles. Oh, God, really? Really? I think you need to go back and read your own Bible. This is called Armageddon.
Yeah. Yeah, if you read the end times, we're going to get defeated. And everybody else that's still around is going to go against Israel.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're already...
We are in the end times.
Yeah.
What part of it? Well, that's open to interpretation, I guess.
Yeah, you're right. I was told today by my contacts in the Senate, i.e., Senator Lee from Utah and Senator Johnson from Louisiana, that the Senate, it wasn't Senator Johnson, it was Congressman Johnson and Senator Lee, but they said that the United States Senate told Israel that the United States would no longer help them with arms. The U.S. was going to cut Israel off. The United States has never done this. Never. And now we're going to cut Israel off? Just leave them hanging?
Trump won't let that happen.
No.
See Trump letting that happen.
No.
He's sworn to support Israel.
Yeah.
Regardless, yep.
For Israel. So I can't see him letting that happen.
It's clear. It's no.
But who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
It's incredible.
The next few months, the next 3 months will be very interesting.
Yeah.
If we get to the inauguration and he's inaugurated, look out.
Yeah.
Because hell's gonna hit the wall, man. He is going to do so many. If he does a half of what he's committed to doing upon taking power of the White House again on his first 2 or 3 days in power, if he does half of what he's promised and talked about doing, I'll be standing up and clapping for the guy, because he's going after everything that I detest in society right now.
Right.
Period.
Yep, me too.
Period. So I'm applauding him. I'm applauding his 10 points that he made, that little speech that he did 3 days ago.
Yeah.
Where he laid out 10 points of what he's going to do upon inauguration. And holy smokes, man, he is going to clean house.
Yes, he is.
Yep. And they're all worried.
That's why they're doing what they're doing.
And they're destroying paperwork and everything because they don't want anything that links them to anything, because Trump's going to go after them for treason.
Yeah. Yeah.
They can't have that. They're going to do everything in their power. And I mean, unfortunately, I believe that they're going to try to take Trump out prior to, because they're going to do everything. They have nothing to lose. The left has nothing to lose. Everything to gain.
Yeah. Everything to gain. You know, the Senate Democrats are trying to cut off the sale of weapons to Israel. It's the Democrats, Bernie Sanders and all the rest of them. And they want to vote to knock off Israel, to keep Israel from existing. That's what they want.
Yeah, they do. They're communists.
Yeah.
You can call them whatever you want, but that's what it is, the bottom line. I can't say they're all communists, because some of them are fascists.
Yeah, well, yeah, right.
And there is a difference between the communists and the fascists.
Yes. But they're going to do everything to destroy Israel. And it's interesting to note, after President Trump was elected, after it was confirmed that he was elected, Hamas and Hezbollah said they wanted a ceasefire.
Yep.
They wanted a ceasefire.
Right away.
They don't want to be with President Trump.
Yep.
The Taliban want to make peace with the United States again.
Yeah,
They don't want to play with Donald J. Trump.
yeah.
All kinds of people come out and try to make good on. You hear Justin Trudeau, our prime minister? He's been talking down Trump for the last 2 years. All you've heard of his mouth is rhetoric against Donald J. Trump.
Yep.
Period. And now that Trump is elected, Justin's going, well, we're going to be good friends. We're going to work together on critical issues. Blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, Donald J. Trump hates Justin Trudeau. He
Yeah.
detests him. He despises him. He hates everything the guy represents. He knows what he's doing to Canada. He knows about his woke agenda. He knows about his LGBTQ agenda. He knows how he's divided Canada. He sees the guy for what he is, and he hates him. So, bring it on. That's all I can say is bring it on.
He hates him.
If Trump becomes president, he's going to make life very difficult. I don't know what exactly is going to happen, but Trump is looking at Canada as a possible launching point for an attack against the United States of America. If things keep going the way they are, if our government keeps letting in the radical factions that they have been letting into Canada, and believe me, there is radical groups formed, waiting, aligned, and organized in Canada right now, waiting for the word to be given. I honestly believe that. I honestly believe that our government is working totally against us. Our government is pro-Islamic. They have let so many of these individuals into our country in the last year and a half, 2 years. We are being invaded. We are. You can't walk down the street now and not see a bunch of them. Where are they all coming from? Why are they all coming here? Who's letting that particular group of individuals into this country? What happened to the rest of the people that want to immigrate into Canada? What about them? They're all put on the back burners. It's all one from one demographic, and that's India. So what the hell's going on, Dave?
Well, I'll tell you, the problem I see is that Islam cannot be with communists. And Trudeau's he's a communist. His father was a card-carrying communist, and he's a communist. But he seems to think that as a communist, he's going to do like China and control the Muslim population. I can tell you it won't happen here. There is no way that's going to happen here. And now he's got these other factions. He's got the Sikhs and the Khalistanis fighting each other on our streets in Toronto with weapons.
Yep.
And it's just not, the chaos that's here is going to supersede any other thing that happens. Because all the focus is going to be on that.
Yep.
Our military is nothing.
Right now. The chaos we're seeing right now, Dave, it's going to amplify. It's going to amplify big time. And we're going to be scratching our heads in 6 months from now, mark my words, Canadians are going to be scratching their heads about what the hell is going on in their country, if they're not already asking themselves what's going on in our country. Because
the smart Canadians are getting out of the cities. Because the stuff that's going to happen, once it explodes, it's going to be everywhere.
Yeah.
Yep.
And unfortunately,
you got a gun.
Don't need that.
Oh, you don't want to be caught without one.
Well, you need about 10 of them.
Well, I've got 3. That's more than I can shoot with both hands and both legs.
The problem is the people that they're letting in, like Trudeau wants to get rid of guns. He wants to get rid of our guns, all the law-abiding citizens. Well, the problem with that is that all these criminals have guns, and they're not going to give them up. So taking them from us,
95% of the gun crimes committed in Canada are being done with guns that coming across the border. They're coming into the country illegally. 95% of the gun crime. So what's Trudeau trying to do? What's he talking about? Taking guns from law-abiding hunters and sportsmen who we've gone through the most rigorous training in the world and the most stringent application processes to get a firearms license in Canada. And he wants to take away from law-abiding citizens?
Yeah,
Oh, excuse my language, Ron.
The only reason I want a gun is to eat. When it all goes south, I want to be able to hunt moose. Because moose is good, and deer is good, and I'm good with that.
I want a gun in case my neighbors ever turn against me. I know there comes to push against the wall.
My neighbors are senior citizens. They're not going to turn against me.
Well, maybe where you are is a little different than where I am or other people located, but who gets the fan? I'm going to make sure that I have a firearm to protect myself, period.
Yeah, my neighbors are all seniors, so it's all good. Oh, sorry, there's one family that's a younger family that's across kitty corner from me, but they're cool. My neighbors are actually all pretty good, so something goes down, we'll watch each other's back.
Yeah. That's
and again, most of us up here are hunters, and fishermen. So we're gonna hunt and fish.
I get a laugh, Ron, watching the lefties melting down on MSNBC, man. It's so funny to watch them. Well, the lefties everywhere are melting down. They're having crying sessions.
MSDNC?
24 or 25 of them got together in the basement and cried for 2 hours.
MSDNC, yes.
Yeah, MSDNC. Yeah, the Liberals are crying. It was interesting to note that two people from the morning show at MSDNC went over to Mar-a-Lago to meet with President Trump. As soon as that meeting got through, they were fired.
Yep. You know what the beauty of this whole thing is, though? Because MSDNC and CNN are basically on the verge of going under, all of a sudden Elon Musk wants to buy MSDNC.
Yeah.
Boy, wouldn't that shake things up.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, oh boy, would that shake things up.
Oh,
and he's got the money to do it, man.
Yeah.
He's the richest guy in the world now. $314 billion.
Well, I think I told you guys, the other day I wrote a letter and I sent an email to both President Trump and Elon Musk. I got an answer back from Elon Musk. I got an answer back from Elon Musk today.
Really?
Yeah. Guess what? He said, don't worry about it. President Trump is going to handle it. That was Elon Musk's answer to me today.
Cool.
I'm trying to find...
The one thing...
Go ahead.
The one thing that I do believe, I don't believe any of this rhetoric that the Dems and that are pushing, where the military is going to come in and fire on the American citizens. These guys in the military swore an oath to the Constitution, not to any one man or president, but to the Constitution. And I don't believe they'll do that. Secondly, I believe that they are more faithful to Trump because Trump is on their side.
Yeah.
And I don't think that they turn on him.
What are you talking about, the military turning on the U.S. citizens and firing on them? Is there something I missed on a news feed or something?
Well, yeah, the government changed their position on the military firing on
U.S.
American citizens, foreign and domestic thing, right?
Right.
But now they've allowed it to happen. They passed it, I don't know, but maybe a month or so ago.
Yes.
Or maybe a little longer.
Yes.
And I just can't see the military doing that.
No, I can't see it
If
either.
they do, they'll be turning on the Democrats.
in 2014, a bunch of us met with the Army general, and he said the military would not turn on the U.S. citizens themselves because the military is and are U.S. citizens themselves. They would not turn on their families and brothers. Not going to happen. But the message that Biden put up would be, and it came through the Pentagon, the message that came up said that the U.S. military could be used against United States citizens.
Yep, they changed the doctrine.
Yeah. That's what they said. Now, whether it would happen, I don't think it will. But again, when I gave this information that I had to Elon Musk and President Trump, I got back a notice today, just about 2 hours ago. Don't worry. And I also told them about YouTube messing with me. And I asked if Elon Musk was going to buy out YouTube to stop the censorship and everything else that's been going on. And he said, I promise to do something about it for sure. Trump is the right man for the position, and I promise he's going to do something. And you will be rewarded.
Well, if you look at the people that he's picking,
yep,
he learned from the first experience as president, and then the second time when he got screwed through for the presidency. But he learned who he can trust and who he can't.
Right.
And this is what's scaring the daylights out of the left. I mean, the military complex, everybody. When Trump the other day had said, hey, listen, everybody better keep their good records. I don't want any information destroyed or anything. You keep these records because we're going to come through and we're going to look and we're going to find all the bad guys. And the military guys, they'll go up in a tribunal. It's that simple. A military tribunal, they will take them down with that. And they'll probably end up in Gitmo or somewhere.
Yeah.
But the treason, the amount of treason that's going on, and it's not just the military, it's the White House and all these other little fingers of government where the corruption is. And all these judges and lawyers and AGs that are creating the grief and fighting against the law, they're going to get held accountable. And I think it was yesterday where one of the mayors or governors and one of the mayors come out and said, hey, listen, we don't care. We're going to keep our people here and we're going to fight against Trump for this. Well, my understanding is that if you're aiding and abetting a criminal, you're just as guilty.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how the law states. If you're aiding and abetting a criminal, you can be held responsible. You can be held responsible. This is U.S. doctrine.
Yeah.
This is a law. And I don't care whether it's that stupid governor in Arizona that said that. Her name's Katie Hobbs. She's the one that said that.
Katie Hobbs.
She's going to go about her and do her own thing, and she doesn't care what President Trump says. Oh, really? She's going to violate U.S. law? She's going to end up in jail herself.
Well, that's the thing. We don't care what the law says. Nobody listens to the law. I believe it was her that said that.
Yeah.
And I mean, really? Nobody has to abide by the law? Well, how come you're holding us accountable for everything?
Unreal. It's not just me here in the United States that's going to be held responsible when it comes to violating or upholding law. It's going to be the governors, it's going to be the mayors and everybody else. Mayor Adams in New York, unreal what that guy did. He brought in all those illegals into New York. He said, we are a sanctuary state. Really? They're a sanctuary state. Governor Hochul in New York said they are a sanctuary state. So they brought all these hundreds of thousands of illegal aliens into New York. Now They have put them on buses, they put them on planes, and have transported them back to Texas. And Governor Abbott in Texas has now said, oh yes, please send them here, so we can process them and send them back to where they belong.
Yep.
That's what's happening.
I find it funny too, where our government here, and I mean, Chrystia Freeland, the second in command, has called the conservative people Maple MAGA, or Maple Syrup MAGA.
Yeah.
I'm okay with being called that. I mean, it's better than some of the names they've called us. And the reality is that, yeah, I support Trump because Trump's going to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Trump has two things going for him, me and God.
Yeah.
And I'm good with that.
Me too.
There's no higher power to answer to than God.
Yeah. It's funny, but I am seeing more MAGA hats, and I've got one downstairs that I've been wearing around when I go out. But I've been seeing more MAGA hats ever since the election than I saw before the election. Unreal.
Yeah, but
Unreal.
look at what also has happened with the FEMA thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Somebody's head's going to roll over that one.
Yeah. Well, her head, Diane Criswell, the head of FEMA, has already been brought into the Senate and into Congress to face charges of going against Republican supporters of President Trump. She's got to explain what she did. She's going to be held responsible, and I'll bet you bottom dollar she will end up going to jail.
I hope so.
She violated everybody's rights.
Oh, there's a whole pile. The jails, you haven't got enough space in all the jails.
Oh,
for all the
they'll make space.
prosecuted.
They'll make
So they're gonna have to
space for
build some
these.
bigger jails.
Yeah, they'll make
Yeah,
space
we
for
have to
these
build
political
more jails.
prisoners.
Well, Fonnie Willis and all those others, they're all going to be going. And Fonnie figures, well, since the people voted me back in, it's all good. No, it's not. You broke the law.
Yeah,
It's simple.
yeah. And it's interesting to note that Georgia, the governor of Georgia, has now been looking into what Fannie Willis did. And he's going to bring charges against Fannie Willis. Because
absolutely.
Fannie Willis not only violated the law, violated President Trump's rights, and a dozen other people that Fannie Willis went after. Fannie Willis is going to go to jail. The charges,
Absolutely, and her boyfriend too.
yeah, Mr. Wade's going to go to jail. All of them. Because they violated the law. The cases have already been dropped in Georgia. The cases are being dropped against Trump all over the place. In New York, the cases have been adjourned. That's the word that they put out on the street, adjourned. Because...
Well, Marchand needs to go to jail.
Mm-hmm.
And Bragg, Elvin Bragg, they both need to go to jail.
Yeah.
But they're not the only ones. There's an awful lot of federal judges and state judges that need to go to jail.
Yeah.
For
And they
breaking
will.
the law.
Yeah, they will.
You don't make up the law. The law's made by Congress, and you go on from there.
Never before in history has a law been put on the shelf for 4 years to go back against President Trump 4 years from now and possibly be resurrected and try to put him away in 4 years. Never before in history has a law been shelved temporarily in order to go after a president of the United States. They can't do it while he's in office, and they can't do it now while he's been elected, because it's good enough as him being in office right now. He's been elected.
And they want to hold it over, though, for 4 years, and then when he comes out, give him the sentencing.
They can't.
I don't know that that's legal,
No, it's not.
especially the way that they did it.
Yeah. Alvin Bragg,
I think it's all going to get thrown out.
Alvin Bragg, and I can't remember the Attorney General in New York, the district attorney in New York, I don't remember her name, but they both, as well as
Letitia
James, yes. Letitia James, Alvin Bragg, and dipstick Fannie Willis are paid and bought by George Soros.
Yeah.
George Soros. He's not even allowed back into the United States because there's a warrant for his arrest.
There's several countries he can't go to because of that.
Yeah. Yeah. And yet,
why isn't he in jail?
that's a good
I'd
question.
be sending Interpol after him.
Yeah.
Go get him.
He got married at the end of the Biden administration here in New York. Here in the United States in New York. He got married. Guess who's at the wedding? Mr. Clinton and his wife.
Yeah, they need to go to jail too.
Yeah, they do. George Soros is connected to the deep state.
Yeah, but I'm surprised Diddy's still alive.
Yeah, me too. There's so much going on with Diddy and Epstein, I'm surprised he's still alive. Because they took out Epstein. Or should I say, they moved him away so they couldn't go after him anymore, saying, oh, he's dead. I don't believe Epstein's dead.
No.
I just don't.
No, things are awful funny with that. I think that there's a good possibility that they grabbed him and some other poor sap got killed, and they grabbed him and they put him somewhere in a secure location so they can get the information out of him.
Yeah.
Use him as a witness.
Yeah. It's insane. What they've gotten away with, unreal. And it
And it's
continues.
funny because none of that stuff, none of the names have come out. None.
None. They've shelved it. Heaven forbid they put out names. Names. I want to see names too.
Wouldn't that explain why so many of these Hollywood stars and that are bailing out of the country?
Yeah.
Because they know that Trump's going to unearth their little skeletons and give it to them.
Yeah. All these Hollywood stars in the past 48 hours are booking it out of the country. They've already either bought plane flights or they've already left. But they're leaving.
And my advice to them is don't come to Canada. We got enough nut bars in our country.
Exactly.
No, there's millions of them coming real soon.
Yeah.
As Trump starts to deport them from the states, where do you think they're going to come? Where do you think they're going to come? We're going to see more people showing up at our border in the next 24 months. It's going to blow our minds. We're going to be overrun with immigrants. And our system can't even handle the ones we got now. So what's
A lot of people are running now. A lot of them are running now.
Yeah, to Canada.
Yeah.
But I also,
Milk and honey.
they might be running to
We're
Canada.
wide open.
They might be running to Canada.
Doesn't matter.
They might be running to Canada
yeah.
now, but I have a feeling they're going to be running out of Canada soon.
Well, if you think about it, you know, these people are running to the border here. All that's doing, especially with the terrorists and that, is putting more in our country, and Trump's got to build a wall on our side. As much as I hate to say that, he's going to have to do that.
Too much of the border to build a wall, Dave, not through them.
Yeah, well,
6,000 miles.
but the point
6,000
is,
miles of border that we share with the states.
is there a problem?
You
Well-
can't build a fence 6,000 miles long.
Well, you can try, but you can also use the military
Yeah.
to keep it safe. That's what the military is for. To keep your country safe from foreign and domestic.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope they do.
Somebody has to.
Oh yeah, they have to.
Well, they're not doing their job right now, that's for sure, because we're being invaded.
Yeah, we are.
This invasion's been going on for 4 years. It never happened before that.
No.
You know, 4
It's been
years.
going on a lot longer here
Yeah.
because the people knew about what was going on in the States, so they'd come here.
I was even
Coming through.
thinking, back about 3 years ago, I was even thinking to go to Canada. So I've been investigating. And you know what I found out? my butt was not welcome in Canada. They said I'd never get across the border. Really? Because I was American, they didn't want me. I could not stay there if I wanted to. Now,
Well, the third safe country agreement, there's a lot of people in Canada that shouldn't be here just based on that.
yeah. Yeah. Just based on that. That alone. It's crazy, guys. Yet we are allowing all of these illegals from all around the world. Over 140 countries are here in North America, Canada, and the United States. This is insane. It's never before happened. Why is it happening now?
Yeah.
And by design, Ron.
Yeah.
It's all by design. It's all designed to create chaos in our society. Out of chaos comes control. The same old game plan is being played, but on a bigger scale. Why not? It worked before.
Yeah.
It's worked in the past. Why not use it again?
Well, the problem is that, for us here in Canada, Trump's got to fix, he's going to spend an awful lot of time fixing the U.S. And once he does that, I think that's when Canada can get straightened out. Because Trump is not going to be nice. I mean, Trudeau the other day says, yeah, the last deal I made with Trump, I made a great deal with Trump. And, he rocked him for that one.
Yeah.
Because we got screwed.
Yeah.
And what's even
Anything that Trudeau's done with Trump and the American government in the last 9 years, we've ended up on the short end of the stick, man.
he believes that the whole world loves him. The guy's nuts. He's living in fantasy land.
I think he's being fed fantasy land. Because I don't think he's even completely coherent, number one. Number two, I don't believe they want him to know exactly what's going on. He's in fantasy land because he doesn't know any different.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. He's not really in charge here. There's people above him somewhere, deep state, whatever, that are controlling him as well.
Yeah.
Soros directly, I guess, is his second in command there. She is a descendant or a relative of his. Chrystia Freeland is related to him in some way, shape, or form.
I believe it.
I do too.
I've heard the same thing.
And if you look at what's going on, she seems to have an awful lot of say in things.
Yeah. From what I hear, the
But we need to
politics
clean
are
it all up. We need to clean all get rid of all the riffraff.
all the riffraff all over the United States and Canada. I mean, everybody. This is a joint project.
Look at how many of these other countries, these leaders of these other countries, call Trump and say, hey, listen, we're right on board with you.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't do that with Biden.
No.
And did Bolsonaro in Brazil that said, hey, listen, we agree with you because he's trying to straighten things out? He's doing the same thing?
Yeah. I've never seen this kind of stuff happen. Ever. Never.
No. But it's all coming to light because of the way Trump is going.
Yeah.
Trump is bringing it all to light. Now he's got some pretty powerful people behind him, and he's got money behind him.
Yeah.
Other than his own.
Yeah. Now,
People that want the country to run right.
Yeah.
RFK, you may not know this, but that guy's got an awful lot of power.
Yeah.
Being that he's a Kennedy.
Yeah.
And yeah, the Democrats are mad because Kennedy left the Democratic Party, and he knows where all the bodies are buried.
Yeah. And he's not afraid to bring it out.
And neither is Tulsi.
Yeah. Tulsi and Bobby Kennedy both. Look out.
Trump
Look
left
out.
Democrats too.
Listen, Trump actually left the Democrats years ago too.
Yes, he did.
But if you think about it, I mean, Nicole Shanahan, the one that was running as RFK's VP, She's a smart one, she is.
Yeah. Look out.
Trump needs to find a spot for her.
Yeah. I think Tulsi Gabbard has already got a spot. In fact, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah, she does.
She's going to be the National Intelligence Director. Look out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to stir things up. Like I said, when you have people that are on your side that know where the bodies are buried, you're going to have an awful lot of people leaving the country.
Yeah.
Very quickly.
And I still think about that one kid that was on, that was whining and saying, you know, because Trump won, I'm going to leave the U.S. I'm moving to Hawaii.
Yeah, that I laughed.
Oh, I laughed over that.
Oh, yeah. They got to be stupid. They've got to be some kind of idiot to say something dumb like that.
Yeah, and the Democrats are calling us stupid.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it when it came. And he was serious. It's like, are you kidding me? Didn't they teach you geography?
Yeah. Just insane. It's insane.
What a surprise, eh?
Yeah.
No, I totally support what Trump is doing. And again, you know, like Ron, like we've already discussed several times, and Barry too, I'm going to die for what I believe in.
Yeah, me too.
It's that simple.
I'll go to my grave with one word on my lips, and that is uphold the law.
Yeah.
Uphold the law.
I support it 100%. But I want the law to be the way it's supposed to be. One law for everybody. You don't like it, go home. We're not changing our laws because you're different. You want something different like it was at home. If that's what you want, go home. Pretty simple.
I agree. I've been saying that for years and years. What's his face? Oh, gosh. I can't remember. This one star that was famous back in the 90s, I saw him in San Diego, and they had talked about leaving if Ronald Reagan was reelected. Well, Ronald Reagan was popular. Yes, he was reelected. He threatened to leave the country then. Did he? Oh, hell no.
No. Well, all these girls from The View, like Whoopi and those other nut bars, they want to leave. They want to come to Canada. We don't want them.
No.
Honestly, we don't. Ellen DeGeneres and her wife moved to England. Well, that's a good place for them. Because there's an opportunity in Canada.
Barbara Streisand's moving to England.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Barbara.
Did you guys see the note from the mayor of London yesterday that said that he was going to institute a law in London that was going to make it mandatory for everybody in London to learn Arabic?
Yeah.
He was going to make it a law.
Most of the UK is Arabic, Muslim. And Tommy Robinson, look at what he's going through now because he stood up against what they believe.
Yeah.
And he's right.
He's absolutely right.
Yeah, England is gone, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can pull it back. You'd have to mass deport millions of immigrants from the Muslim nations to bring England back to where she was before this invasion started. And
but it's not going to happen.
25 years ago.
Yeah.
But look at Ireland, it's the same way.
Of Muslims. Well, the same thing.
You're not hearing about that stuff because the MSN is not going to look on Facebook, and all these others aren't allowing that information to get out.
No. No.
And it's too bad because it's time that the patriots rise up and say enough is enough is enough, regardless of the consequences. They may kill us, but the reality is that my last words are not happening. I'm not going to see your way.
No, not at all. Welch News is here in the chat saying it's not true that the people in the UK are mostly Muslim. Says, does anyone know the percentage of Muslim population in the UK? I don't. Demon Catman's here says, don't believe that, it's not that bad here in the UK. I don't know.
Really?
I don't know. Demon Catman or Welch News, let us know what's going on in the UK. We want to know.
Yeah, I'd be more than happy to hear, because everything I'm hearing says different. But I mean, it may just be in certain areas, but the reality is it's happening.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know about...
Look, I oppose Islamic law because I don't believe that men should be able to marry 6-year-old girls. I have an issue with that. That stuff makes me crazy.
Me too. It makes me crazy. It makes me nuts. I don't, if you want to be Islam, move to Islamic country. If you want to be Islam, if you want to be here in the U.S. and you want to be Islam, stay there. Stay where you're at. Don't force the rest of us to turn to you. Don't force the rest of us to become Muslim, because we won't. Not going to happen.
I do support the one thing that the Muslim population supports, and that's none of this woke stuff where trans stuff. None of that.
No.
I will not have kids taught that. I do not agree with that at all. And I support them on that one, because that's the truth. That's the way it is.
Yeah.
You get these people that say there's more than 2 genders. No, there isn't. Go check a graveyard. Male, female, man, woman, wife, husband, nothing else.
No. Welsh News says 6.5% Muslim in Britain. No requirement for language. That's good. When I saw when I saw the article coming from the mayor of London saying that he was going to try to make Islamic or Arabic the main language, I'm going, there's no way it's going to happen. Absolutely no way it's going to happen.
Because, the Muslims represent, as of 2021, there was 3,800,000 Muslims living in England, 6.7% of the population in 2021. So they're not a large denomination yet, but it's the way they operate. It's the way they take over areas of cities and make them areas that you cannot go into. And that is one of the biggest problems I see with Muslims in England. Well, they try. Yeah, but they're not getting it in. They're not getting it in. They're trying to, but they only represent about, that was in 2021, 6.7% of the population of England is Muslim. I'm probably a little higher now, because they've had quite a few come in the last 2 years, but still, it's the way they go about their lifestyles, the way they go about everything they do that is disturbing to me, period.
Yeah.
Well, they have Islamic police in Toronto, but they have also areas that are Sharia law.
Yeah. They tried to do that
Toronto, really? No, not in Toronto.
Yeah, there is. Trust me. Like I said, Barry, you haven't been around down here lately. You would not even recognize a lot of Toronto. Toronto, Brampton, Mississauga. It's totally different than it used to be.
Over in Michigan and Wisconsin and some parts of Minnesota, there are some cities in those states that are just Islamic cities. They even changed the wording on the street signs to Arabic.
Yes.
Incredible. I would have never thought, ever, that we would find street signs here in the United States anything but English. Yes, I understand the U.S. is a melting pot of countries from around the world. France, for example. I met a lot of people from France here. I met a lot of people from England. I met a lot of people from Sweden. but they speak English. Never before in my life have I ever thought that I would drive into a town here in the United States and they had street signs in Arabic. Never.
Yeah.
It's happened.
See, for me, I do believe in immigration, but I do believe that it has to be done the right way.
Yeah.
I do believe that there are some of the Muslim people that are here that want to work with us to make things better for all of us.
Right.
But I also believe, like every other nationality, that there are some bad seeds that are going to scare people into believing what they want or face the consequences. And that's wrong. That's the stuff we need to weed out.
Unreal. I agree. I totally agree. You know, it's unreal. I had once been told by, I can't remember his exact title, from Mexico, but I arrested him, I don't remember, on so many felonies. I had at least 3 felonies on him, and he had no identification. But he swore up and down that he was a politician from Mexico and that he had diplomatic immunity. And I said, oh, really? You have no identity or any cards or anything showing your name or identification, showing us that you're an ambassador or have diplomatic immunity anywhere. I arrested him on several felonies. I ran his background once I found out who he was. Yes, he was a politician from Mexico. He said that Mexico was going to take over the United States. Really? Really?
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Yet our country just got overridden by 25 million people from outside this country. Not just Hispanics. People from 140 countries are now here in the U.S., including terrorists, including murderers that were in prison in various countries, including Venezuela. Did you guys hear that the murderer that killed Laken Riley in Georgia has now received life in prison?
Yeah.
I talked about it last night on our program. He was originally in New York. He didn't like New York. So he got the New York authorities give he and his buddy money to move out of New York. They went to Georgia. And he immediately, once he got to Georgia, killed Laken Riley. He was
And so that's one of the things too, Ron, that's creating a lot of havoc.
Yeah.
Because these people are coming in, they have no real jobs or any skills or anything other than just being criminals, and they're getting money, taxpayer money, and from the government. And what's happening is that the people who came here legally, and I mean it's all nationalities, the ones that came to our countries legally, that went through the process, that had to have some way of taking care of themselves and had to pay, are saying, hey, wait a minute here. Why is it that it's different for them than us? Why can't they come in the way we did? And they're on our side.
Yeah.
And it's not just, the white guy or whatever, or the Hitler people, according to the left. And boy, have they changed their tune about that since Trump got elected.
Yeah.
Because now you don't hear that so much anymore. Everybody's trying to kiss up and be friends with Trump. Well, the reality is that the damage is done.
Yeah.
And we know who these people are. And it's time that we clean house.
Yeah, I agree.
Get rid of the corruption. Let's take that right out of our political systems. I mean, that's the best way to clean things up.
And I think it could
Start at
happen.
the top and clean house.
Yeah, I think it could happen when
I
Trump
do
gets
too.
in. If we are
Because I
allowed to
know-
put Trump in office.
I know here in Canada, and I'm sure it's happening in the States too, where a lot of people are getting into politics in their cities and towns because they want things to be different. They want to clean up the school system, so they're getting involved with the education, and they're putting their names in for trustees to make the changes that we need. So now we've got to come from the bottom, and now over there, anyway, you have it coming from the top.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the best way to clean it all up.
If we can but get President Trump and Matt Gaetz and, well, all of them, all of the people that President Trump has nominated for position in his cabinet, if we can get those people in power, we'll be able to clean house.
You know who I really respect is John, I think his name's John Holman, the Holman guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I respect him.
The border guard.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy he is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. I've listened to him talk many times.
He is a,
Shoot him.
yeah, he's a former ICE agent.
All of Trump's appointments so far, I love them all, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's surrounding himself with very, very solid individuals.
Yeah.
So look out. Look out, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm gonna step out of here, guys. I have got an appointment at 20 minutes from now. That I've got at 5:30. I've got to be on another radio show, believe it or not,
All right.
set up by Roger Landry, and I'm going to be talking to RBN Network in the States in about 20 minutes. So I'm going to let this call go. But you guys continue on with your conversation, but I'm going to step out.
All right, Barry.
I also played hockey today, man, and my body is awfully sore. So I'm going to medicate, and then I'm going to do this other show tonight. But I'll let you guys go.
All right, Barry, thank you.
You take care, Barry. We'll be talking to you, brother.
Yeah, Barry, thank you so much for being on the air with us. I appreciate you.
No problem, Ron. I'll join you anytime.
I look forward to that. I'm going to keep you up on that.
Okay, I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for letting me in conversation tonight.
Thank you, Barry. God
No
bless.
problem, Barry. You take care.
Enjoy. Be safe.
Yeah, so Ron, like I said, I mean, you know, for guys like us, it's nice to see some serious positive for a change
I agree.
instead of all this negative and all this nonsense. This rope stuff is going to fall by the wayside now.
Yeah. I'm hoping
They're angry right now, but the reality is that they're either going to come to their senses or they're going to leave the country.
Yeah.
I don't know where they're going to go, but I hope it ain't here.
Yeah. I'm hoping you're right. I'm hoping you're right. I'm hoping that Biden will allow President Trump to mitigate or negotiate what is happening in Russia and Ukraine, that we can turn that off. Because we don't need a nuclear Armageddon here in the United States, and I don't believe necessarily that Putin is in a good place right now, mentally or anything else. I understand he has cancer, he's been fighting cancer and everything else, but he may not be in a good place. And he has already got his military to a point that at any point in time he could push a button and launch nuclear war against the United States. Will he do that? I don't know. I'm hoping not.
I don't know either. I would hope not. But you know, again, I think that they're going to do whatever they can to prevent Trump from getting in and doing the things he wants to do, because there's an awful lot of power coming up against Trump and an awful lot of dirty tricks that they're going to pull. They pulled a ton of them already, and they lost.
Yeah.
And all that's doing is make them angrier and angrier, and they're going to pull something else.
Yeah.
And I see that coming. I really do. I see it happening. Yeah. I think they're going to try to not certify the election. That's one thing I see a very good possibility of happening. But I also see a war starting and then having a War Measures Act over here, whatever it is over there, being brought in.
Yeah. It's insane.
I hope not.
Yeah.
But again, like I said, we're not in a safe zone. Everything looks positive with Trump, but we're not in a safe zone until he gets sworn in.
Yeah. they're gonna, I believe, and you and I have talked about this before, I think that they're gonna do everything in their power to stop him from taking office, including declaring war. So Biden can stay in charge. And it won't be Biden in charge. It'll be the deep state. What happens if all of a sudden Biden does not wake up one day, and yet he's president of the United States? Kamala Harris can't do it. Kamala Harris could not even roll her own hair. She couldn't do it.
I don't understand how she got through law school being such an idiot.
I understand she just barely passed, and she could not even take the bar exam. It took her 3 times before she passed the bar exam, and I understand she just barely passed that. So,
It's funny because, if she can pass it, I could pass it, even with the little knowledge that I do have the American.
Yeah, I agree. Me too. Me too. Gosh,
It's so insane.
It is.
But, I keep thinking back to our Tim Walz there. He said, on election day, I'm looking so forward to waking up with Kamala. And I think, really? That's about the way that you Democrats think.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
His wife, those googly eyes his wife has, that's just unbelievable. I could not deal with that.
No, me either. I shake my head. I don't trust any of those. I don't trust any of those Democrats. They're bad.
I don't either.
They're bad.
Like the liberals here, they know I don't like them, and they don't like me, and that's okay. We're on even terms there.
Yeah, you and I are basically in the same boat. The Democrats hate my guts. I've been told by I don't know how many Democrats that they hate my guts. I'm going, my guts aren't for you to hate. Too bad.
What do I care is what I tell them. Listen, they've called me all kinds of names. They called me racist and everything else, and I told them, I said, look, whatever. The reality is I'm not a racist. You can say that if that makes you feel better, but it's not the truth. I believe that everybody should be treated equally. I don't care who you are. But don't tell me because I'm white or partly white that I should be treated less.
Yeah.
And that I'm less of a person because I have white privilege. That's wrong.
Yeah. For those of you...
And I'm the racist? Yeah, sure.
Exactly. For those of you...
I have First Nations heritage, ancestry, and I have a ton of it. So does that make me a racist because I have that? Or is it that I'm a lighter color? What is it that makes me racist? It can't be my views, because I want everybody to be treated fairly and equally.
Me too. You don't know how many times during my career, being a white guy, that I was called a racist, and then one of my buddies, and I'll never forget this man, I love him to pieces, he and his family, his wife, they have 14 kids. I was friends with him. I worked with him. I was called a racist so many times. And Robbie came to bat for me. I won't tell you anybody's last name, but Robbie and I were very close friends. We went fishing together. But many times, I got called a racist on the job. And then Robbie says, really? Ron is one of my best friends. Oh, you're an Uncle Tom.
I could get along with anybody. I really could.
Me too.
Where I have issues, again, is where, like our government's saying, well, you have to let these people come in and do whatever they want, and it's okay, but you can't. No, it's not okay.
Yeah.
Let people into your house and let us take over if you have an extra room. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Because I have rules in my house. I'm the king, whether you like it or not. I make the rules.
Yeah.
You don't have to like it, but you don't have to be here. But I feel the same way about my country.
I agree, me too.
It's my home. My family's been here since the early 1600s in this country. And I am not going to be told that I'm somebody that's taken things away from somebody. because I have Native heritage.
Yeah,
I haven't taken anything from anybody.
yeah.
We treated people decent.
You know, I've
And that's
talked,
how I expect it to be.
yeah,
I expect to have respect, and I will give it where it's due. But I will not respect somebody who's telling me I'm less of a person for any particular reason.
yeah,
I don't tolerate that. I'm a patriot. I believe in my country.
yeah.
I will stand and die for it.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, my big buddy Dave here is from Canada. Dave, tell us about your background. Just introduce yourself to people here that haven't been introduced to you before.
Well, I grew up in the projects. When I was young, I grew up in the projects, and I had to fight my way through, and I had to learn the street ways. And then I grew up and got married the first time. Because we had 2 children, my buddies were telling me I should marry her. I didn't want to, because I knew what kind of person she was. But anyway, we ended up divorced. I ended up working for the government. I was a superintendent of maintenance for a school. I worked for the city of Windsor for a while. And then I had a massive coronary and was told that I could no longer work. Well, I had a stroke too after, so
Yeah.
that kind of helped. But then I got into politics. And I've been directly or indirectly involved in politics since. And I like politics because I like the battle. I like the debates, the challenge. And I have my second wife. We've been together 30 years. Between us, we have 6 kids, well, adult kids. One's now a transgender. He decided that he was a girl, and I don't agree with him. I didn't agree with him when he was a kid, when he was telling me he was a girl, or he thought he was a girl. Because he waited till he was an adult, because I would not ever allow him to do it as a child. I still don't agree with him on that, but he's an adult, and he can make those decisions for himself, herself, whatever it is. He's a he to me. Me and Mom call him him. We call him by his male name. He's changing his name legally, but since I got into the politics and then I ended up with cancer, so I had to get out of the politics and deal with the cancer,
Yeah.
which I'm still kind of dealing with, but I still like the politics.
Yeah, me too.
And I still, like I said, I'm all for God, country, family. 3 things.
Yeah.
Don't agree with my kids sometimes, but hey, they're adults. And if they're in my house, I make the rules. It's pretty simple.
That's all right.
You don't have to like it, but I pay the bills.
You're the boss.
And that's it.
You're the boss.
And I feel the same way about my country. Like I said, you come into my country, I have no objection if you're going to be respectful.
Yeah.
And you're going to go with the flow. But the minute you tell me that I'm less of a person or that I owe you something, you're out the door.
Yeah. I love the Canadian
And I don't
people.
care who you are.
Yeah. I've loved the Canadian people since I was up there in Manitoba, up around Winnipeg area when I was a kid. And I grew to love the people. I met a lot of people, a ton of people from Canada. And I've been to Winnipeg, I've been to Quebec, excuse me.
Yes, Quebec.
It's Quebec, but I've been there and I love the people. I have always loved the Canadian people. Heck, like I said 3 years ago, I was even contemplating moving up there.
Some of my best friends are Canadians. Go figure.
I was going to move up to Nova Scotia, Canada. I had friends there. I was invited there to live there. But Canada wouldn't let me go. Canada says I was a persona non grata. They didn't want me there. Gosh. They said, oh, you don't have the right citizenship. You might have COVID, and so you can't come to Canada.
Yeah.
I'm going, what? I might have COVID, so you're not going to allow me to come to Canada? Really?
Yeah, that's stupid.
Oh, they made
Like I
every
said,
excuse.
Like I said, it's about disrespecting us.
Yeah.
And there's nothing I hate more than that.
Yeah.
I despise people who want to disrespect me for things, especially when I'm not wrong.
Yeah. I love the
That
Canadian
angers
people.
me, and I'm sarcastic, so usually somebody that's being like that will say something stupid, and I have a good comeback to them, and that annoys them.
I love it.
But it's the story of my life. Yeah, why not? Don't open yourself up unless you can take it.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I love the Canadian people, and you and I hit it off since day one. I don't know how many years ago it's been, but you and I have known each other for years now, and you and I are like blood brothers.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, the EMA family is family to me.
Yeah.
It's that simple. I love everybody that's in the EMA family, and I would defend any of them.
Yeah, me too.
And all I want is what's best for them.
Yeah. It's unreal. It's unreal. Welch News says he's got to go. We understand it's way late over there in Wales. And yes, I'm Welch as well. My grandfather came from Wales. So I hope you have a good night over there. Please don't be a stranger here on our channel. We want you here. Please subscribe, like this program, and even click on that notification bell so you'll be notified when we come on the air. We want you here. Thank you for being here tonight, Welch News. God bless you. And know that we love you.
I have part of my ancestry around is Miami Indians.
Really?
That's one of my ancestral lines is to Miami, to a chief.
Wow.
And there's several chiefs actually that I have in my ancestry. Wow. And part of my family was on Mackinac Island when it was Fort Mackinac, and before it was Fort Mackinac, some of my native family.
Wow.
And then Ottawa Indians and Ojibwa, which is actually my area, and Micmac from the East Coast. And like I said, I've got a ton of lines here on Wendat, and it's just, like I said, when people tell me, oh, what do you know? Well, this is my country. It's my home.
Yeah.
Since the early 1600s. My family came from France initially, and went to the East Coast, and then with the tribal wars that went on because of the British coming in and stirring the pot, we ended up being taken over by the British, and I kind of wish that it was more the French that would have won that, and we would have went with the U.S., but that's me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Things are better there.
They're somewhere
here. Our Constitution doesn't mean anything. Our Bill of Rights, none of that stuff means anything to our government. They'll trample on anything.
Yeah.
Freedom of speech is gone now.
Wow.
Because of the liberals. Well, the communist liberals. And that's so unfortunate because so many people have been dissed for something that's completely stupid. And silencing the public, all it does is anger the ones of us that are patriots. And there's a lot of us.
Yeah, there are. Unreal.
But I have relatives in the States, cousins and aunts and uncles and so on and so forth, and a lot of military history. My one uncle, my father's brother, was killed in the DF raid, and my uncle was in the Korean War. My buddy, one of my buddies, he's 77, he was in the Vietnam War, and he's a great guy.
Wow.
And then I got other buddies like Brian and that were in the military here. But I know that the Legion here is looking for somebody to lead it, and my son came to me the other day and said, look, I was talking to them, because my wife's grandfather, his family come over from Germany. His grandfather's father, or her grandfather's father, fought for the Germans in World War I, and her grandfather fought for the Canadians in World War II. He went in early, young, and he was wounded. But anyway, the Legion here wants somebody to take over the Legion.
Yeah.
Somebody that has military background or family in military.
Right.
And he said, yeah, they were interested in me. It's like, look, if I was healthy, there's a whole pile of things I'd be doing. But unfortunately, I'm not.
Yeah.
I can't make commitments. I can't make commitments to the shows that people want me to do shows. Roger Landry wants me to take time there.
Yeah.
Gary wants me to do some shows for him, but I can't promise that I'm going to be there all the time. I have too many medical appointments.
Yeah.
And believe me, I'd love to. I'd like to be able to. I told them, look, I'll do a show once in a while, but I can't be consistently doing your shows.
Right.
As much as I'd like to, I'm not going to commit to something if I know I'm not healthy enough to do it, to be there all the time.
Gosh. Yeah, I know the feeling. I know the feeling. Hey, Dave, I appreciate you. I love and appreciate you, brother. Gosh.
And you, brother. I'll tell you. Well, being on oxygen, you know what that's like.
Oh, yeah.
That doesn't, it changes your life again. And me having half a heart from having the heart attack and still kicking kind of surprises me, but hey, if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger.
Exactly.
I think.
Yeah. Well, as you guys know, I'm on oxygen because I got hurt when I was a cop, and it injured my body. My right diaphragm shut down and is paralyzed, and that's why I'm on oxygen today. But if I was able to, I would be all over the place. I would be all over the place. And I still try. Ask my wife. I still try to do things I'm not supposed to be doing.
And you pay for it.
Oh, yeah, I do. But that's how I'm going to push the limit.
Me too.
Someone once said they want to die sliding into home plate. And that's pretty much what I'm going to do. I'm going to roll my body out where I'm sliding into home plate. And when I get to heaven, I'm going to kneel in front of the Savior, and I'm going to reach up and touch his hands and know he's a Savior no more than I know him now. But I'm going to tell him that I've done whatever I could while I was here on this earth to do what I need to do.
His bidding.
That's
what I do.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be here as long as he lets me.
Yeah.
When it's time for me to go, it's time for me to go on his terms, not mine.
Yeah, me too.
And like I said, we've been placed in this position to try to help people and save souls.
Yeah.
By him. It's that simple. If we weren't meant to do this, we wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah, exactly. There's a reason for everything. There's a reason for everything. And I love I love the Lord, I love our countries, and I'll do whatever I can to help my country and Canada and all the other countries around the world to become strong and prosperous. I love my country, I love God, and I love my family. God, family, and country in that order. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at.
I agree with you 100%. Like I said, it is what it is, and we're here for a reason, and hopefully people understand that our position is pretty simple.
Yeah.
Do not comply, do not consent, and never surrender.
Exactly. Exactly. Brother Dave, I appreciate and love you, bro. I want to do this again next Wednesday if we can.
I should be here next Wednesday.
Sounds great. Sounds great.
As far far as I know, I don't have any medical stuff yet.
Yes.
February, I know I've got 3, so February, the month of February is pretty much written off.
Yeah, I hear you.
And hopefully, well, I do have to see my doctor at some point. I just keep putting it off, my family doctor.
Yeah.
I got some forms for him to fill out. But still, it's just, I don't like doctors.
Me either.
I gotta see him all the time.
My doctor I've got to see on Monday morning.
See, it would be nice if we could go see the doctor and they pay us.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I would love that.
Yeah,
Oh, I would
it'd be
love
nice
that.
to at least be, break even for a change.
That's so true. That is so true. Unreal. Anyway, brother, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to end this show. Guys, it's been fun having Barry and Dave here on the program. And like I said, I would love to have Barry and Dave here every Wednesday. So if you guys have any questions for Barry and Dave, send them over. That way we can talk. Okay?
Well, they can ask me any questions now if they want while I'm here.
Yeah.
I can answer, but I can't answer for Barry.
Yeah. Barry's over on the West Coast. He's over in British Columbia, Canada. So,
Yeah.
great place, actually.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, a few hours from me. I'm in Ontario, so most of the way across the country.
yeah, he's like, what, 3,000
Never came back.
miles? He's about 3,000 miles away?
Yeah, somewhere thereabouts, anywhere, at least 2,000 or so.
Yeah,
Yeah. He's in Terrace, BC,
yeah. Good old Terrace. Gosh.
and I'm in lowly Ontario, northeastern Ontario.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Unreal. I love that area.
And like I said, Ron, anytime you can get, believe me, I get rich, you can come over here, we'll go fishing, and
In
the
a
girls can go
heartbeat.
shopping.
In a heartbeat. Oh, gosh.
And
Unreal.
we'll go out and visit Barry and go salmon fishing.
Oh, wouldn't that be a kick?
Yeah.
That'd be so fun.
Yeah, so if anybody's got any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them. And I won't lie to them, because guess what? I'm not a liberal.
No.
And I'm not woke.
Me either. Never will be. We never will be. But we love you guys. We love the EMA family, and we do anything for you. That's why I had Barry and Dave on the program. I've been meaning to get them on the program for over a week now. And every day that goes by, I'm going, darn it, darn it, darn it. And now they're here, and I'm so grateful for this time we've had them here. They've helped answer a lot of questions. They've given us a lot of information here, and I value their input. It's great.
Yeah, believe me, I love the EMA family too. Like I said, they're like my brothers and sisters, and I do everything I can to help.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I'm all for it. But nobody has any questions, that's a good thing.
Yeah, Richard's asking, can you show me where to gold pan anywhere near your area?
Yeah. The problem is that all that land for panning has all been accounted for.
Really?
Even the land that I'm living on. Somebody has the rights to the mine and the painting and whatever.
Wow.
And there's a lot of stuff around here. We got a nickel. There's a ton of nickel around here, nickel mines
Yeah.
and gold mines and diamond mines, and apparently now there's the rare earth stuff somewhere.
Wow.
So yeah, lots of stuff.
Wow. I had no
But I
idea.
don't have the rights to it.
Wow.
And if I find a piece of gold, which is very possible in the creeks and rivers around here, I don't think I'd be giving it to anybody.
No, I'd hold on to that. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because then they'd want to know.
Lots.
They'd want to know where you got it from, and I wouldn't want
Yeah.
to tell them.
My dog found it.
Yeah, my dog found it. What was that? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't speak dog. You can ask him if you want.
Yeah, we don't speak dog. Hey guys, I want to show you something. Carol and I went to the post office today, and we got a card from S. Nort. And occasionally we'll see her on the program on the chat, but I don't see her here today. But we got a card today from S. Nort, and we got something else. Okay, the last time we heard from S. Nort or got anything from her, she sent us some stuff. That one, I've got some railroad stuff she sent, but guess what? Look at this. Okay, look at that. A chain. And guess what? There's a ball on the end of it. It's not a crystal ball, but I can see through it. And she got me a wall or a glass hanging so I could actually hang it in front of the window. So I appreciate that. I want to share that with you because I like to share things with you that people send me. And this was sent to my wife and I, so we're going to hang it up. But isn't this a cool picture of dogs? She knows Carol and I have 2 Chihuahuas here. And on the back of the envelope, she has a Chihuahua here. And then the card here, and yes, she talks about emergency preparedness and other things her and her family are doing. Like I said, I've asked all of you to send us cards and letters to tell us about your family and what you're doing preparedness-wise. And she spent a great deal of time talking about that in her card, which I greatly appreciate that. Greatly appreciate that. Anyway, guys, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you, Dave, for coming on the show. I hope to talk to you again the next day or so. But I ask God to bless you all. God bless you all. You guys are my family.
All, guys.
We appreciate each and every one of you. We hope you have a great night. And after everything's over, we'll be back.
And make sure that you keep it on prepping, because you never know with what's going on. You need it.
Yeah, we all do. We all do. Anyway, guys, we're going to let you go here, but please know how much we love you. Have a great evening. We'll see you on the other side. Take care, everybody. Much love.
All right, Ron, we'll be talking to you, brother.
All right. Take care, brother. Good night.
You too. Say hi to Carol.
Will do. See you soon.
All right.
Good night.
Bye.